Hey everyone, on behalf of MyOutDesk and Market Real Estate, welcome to our show today, Crushing It with Kevin. And I'm Brian Allen, and I'm Chief Revenue Officer at MyOutDesk, and will moderate our discussion on the why, the hows, and what's of integrating virtual professionals into your team growth strategy. I want to introduce and thank the star of the show today, Kevin McCarrion. Hey, Kevin, you want to say hello?
How's it going?
About yourself and your great company.
Sure. Kevin Markarian, have a company in San Francisco called Market Real Estate. We have two offices in San Francisco. We just opened a branch in Newport Beach as well. And we've done a lot with virtual assistants, inside salespeople. That's kind of like a big topic right now in our industry. So I'm really excited to be with you guys, and talking with MyOutDesk. Have been a big partner of ours for a long time. So really excited to get into it and just, get into the details and share everything that's worked for us and some of the failures too. So really happy to be here.
Well, good. Perfect. Hey, I just wanted to kind of give you a little background on this, the series. We're going to do the series Crushing It with Kevin. I had a chance we do a lot of research and people who are thought leaders, experts in growth in the real estate markets. And Kevin's name popped up, and I had a chance to see some of his past webinars and blog posts, and it was just amazing. So I think you're going to be really happy with the depth of his knowledge and kind of and how he helps organizations grow. So I did want to, before I forget, we've got a chat box there, and we're going to pause at a couple of key moments in the presentation to solicit questions. But if you have any questions on any of the material as we discuss it with Kevin today, feel free to shoot your questions out. So I think we're ready to kick it off. I guess my first question would be, let's say I'm a real estate professional and I had a great year last year, good velocity, and 200K, 225K in GCI last year. What would you say to someone to kind of take advantage of the market momentum that's going on right now? What should the audience why should the audience look to virtual professionals as part of their overall growth strategy, Kevin?
That's a really great question, and it was something that I faced before I hired my first inside salesperson or virtual assistant. And the reason I did it was because I created a problem for myself, right? So as an individual, we can only do so much. You can only go so far. So you need people that will be able to help you and to help you grow and to scale. So the reason why I hired someone and I was doing really well was because I couldn't do more on my own, right? So, and you get to a point where you hit a ceiling and there's more out there, but you need other people to help you. And so that was, I would say someone that's doing really well right now is think about how you can take your business to the next level. And if you don't have an inside salesperson, that's like a really important hire. That was one of our biggest hires, was finding someone that can help. Whether it's a virtual assistant or a virtual, caller. That's, I would say is just thinking about scale and growth. And so that's like the biggest thing I would say when, if you're having success now, is just how can you take it to the next level?
Okay. Excellent. So part of what we do for the audience is, we have virtual professionals, and they're really in kind of three different food groups. One would be the ISA, which helps you at prospecting, outbound calling. The others would be around the marketing function, helping you on Facebook, helping you kind of drive your brand and your visibility. And the third area is transactional support. As you say, you need help, and you as a real estate professional want to focus on bringing revenue in, and you want to have the bandwidth to be successful. So do you have any words of wisdom revolving around those functions?
Yes, absolutely. And again, going back to what I had experienced personally, is I wanted to focus on the things that I enjoy. So if we're finding success, if we have success, we have the luxury to choose what it is that we want to work on, right? So like as if we're talking about an individual agent right now, you're kind of everything, right? We're the marketing person, we're the advertising, we're the sales staff, we're the tech support, we're everything. So whether you're an individual agent or you have a team or a brokerage or whatever, when you start finding success and you want to grow, it really allows you to choose the things that you want to work on, the things that you enjoy. And if we enjoy things that we're working on, it's like the next level with that is success, right? So yeah, if there are, like, for me personally, I mean, I don't really like doing back end work, right? So finding someone that can help with that is really important. If you like, another part was we have a very large database. We're generating lots of leads. So finding someone that can help prospect, convert and cultivate those leads and transition them into clients and then transactions. Again, it's about growth. It's about scale. So if you're looking to scale, finding someone from outside is really a great way to do it.
Our CEO, Daniel Ramsey, has a methodology. I wouldn't even call it a methodology. It's just a kind of a fun task. He calls it the sticky challenge. And what you do is you have you and your team for maybe a week or 2 weeks go around and document where you spend your time. So you get your little Post-its and you write down, I spent an hour here, I spent an hour there. And at the end of that process, you put the little sticky notes in some quadrants, and one is revenue producing and one is transactional support. But the other aspect to kind of evaluating your work or your inventory is, are you good at it or do you like it? Because a lot of, I might be good at outbound calling, but gosh, I just hate it. I mean, yeah. I just hate it. So part of what that sticky challenge, and we'll give the audience a link to that at the end of the session, so you can go through that, because it's a pretty good exercise in evaluating how you might use a virtual professional and how you might optimize you and your team's work. So we'll go ahead and do that. So that's great. So how would you, if let's say you did the sticky challenge, or you have a gut feeling that you need some help to get your bandwidth back because there's so much opportunity out there, how do you go about finding and interviewing and hiring a VA?
Well, real quick on I just want to mention something about the sticky challenge thing.
Yeah.
I want to hear about it too. But one thing that I did, and I read this somewhere or I heard it from somebody, was I wanted to find out, what am I doing with my time? Right. So if I know what I'm doing with my time, then I can decide which direction I want to go. So what I did is every 2 hours, I would write down every single thing that I did every 2 hours throughout the day, throughout the workday. And at the end, after say a week or two, you start to realize, oh my God, like I'm spending this much time, I'm guilty, like on social media, right? And so I would just throw that out there. And that's probably something that similar maybe to the sticky challenge.
Yeah, it's exactly that. That's the whole premise is, being able to kind of leverage yourself and have you focus on the things that you're really good at. And I think for most real estate professionals, it's networking and meeting with people and FaceTime with people, because that's what you're good at, and that's where your revenue is going to probably come from.
Most likely. And some people are great at that. Like I prefer doing that. And some people, they like being on the back end of things. Sure. And you want somebody to be out kind of doing the FaceTime, like reaching out to clients and doing things like that. So again, it comes down to like what you really enjoy and breaking it down. But to answer your question, how to hire someone, I use a method, and we've worked together with MyOutDesk. And one of the things that we do is, every person that I've hired, I have two things that they do. One is I have a script that I write out, and I have it I send it out to the inside salesperson or whoever the virtual assistant, and I ask them to leave me if it's a person that's going to be calling, I want them to leave me a voice message, and I want them to read off the script. Okay. The second thing I have them do is I ask them to send me an email convincing me to meet with them. Reasons why to meet with them. The reason why I do the first part, if we're talking about an inside sales associate right now, is number one is I want them to read off exactly word for word what I put on that script. Okay. If they make a mistake on any of that, they're disqualified. Okay. The second part is I want to, if it's a caller, you want someone that is going to sound good on the phone. You want someone that's going to be pleasant on the phone. So if you're listening to them on the phone and it sounds like they smoke 5 packs a day, it's probably not someone you want like calling your clients, right? So those are two things that I'm looking for. The other part is on the email, I'm looking for like punctual mistakes, grammatical mistakes. I want to make sure, number one, are they convincing, right? Are they going to convince someone? Because they may be sending emails for you, right? And if they're reaching out to clients, they may be sending out emails to clients. So you want to make sure that they're presenting you and your company in a professional manner. So I look for those two things. And that's the same with a virtual assistant. If you have someone and you're giving directions and they don't follow those directions, then that's a great way, like a process of elimination. One last thing on the email, I instruct people to keep it under 5 sentences, just a paragraph. So again, it's about following instructions. So if somebody sends me a 2-sentence message, like, okay, well, that tells me something. If they send me a 10-paragraph message and they're going overboard, that tells me something as well. So those are just a couple of things that I look for, that I use, and it's worked really, really well for me. And I would recommend anyone try it out. It's a good way to like filter through the good and the bad and the ugly, if you will.
Well, that's great, because we obviously place a lot of virtual professionals, and one of the toughest things that we have with our new clients is coaching them up on what questions to ask and how do we evaluate our staff if there's a fit for their organization. So that's really great. The little homework assignments, I really like that. Good stuff. So you mentioned ISAs. I mean, that's a big piece of our business too.
Yep.
So what would be the infrastructure you would expect a client to have in place in terms of potentially a dialer, a CRM, access to other market data?
Well,
what do you think about that specifically?
Well, it's important to know what it is that you want people to do, right? So if you don't know what you want people, if you don't know what you're doing, okay, how are other people going to know what to do for you? So you have to, I think, first, like you said, do your homework, come up with a list of things that you want this individual to do for you, and then be very clear about them. And then, yes, we use a CRM. If you're talking about inside sales associates, we use a CRM, and we train them on the CRM. Now, one thing that's really nice about MyOutDesk is a lot of those inside sales associates and virtual assistants, they already have the training. They already have the knowledge. So it's really nice because it kind of shortcuts the process where I don't have to go through all those things. So that's really, really nice. We use Follow Up Boss as our CRM, and we use a dialer. So that we do have the dialer inside the CRM. So I would, you can pay for that if you wanted to. Another source that we use is a software called Line 2. And what's cool about Line 2 is it's only like $10 a month. And it's an app that can be downloaded on an iPhone or an Android. And what's nice about it is you can track all the calls. You can see the duration of the calls. You can read the text messages. It's a great way to hold people accountable. And it's a really inexpensive, and it's like it connects to Wi-Fi. So, and it can be used anywhere in the world. So I know a lot of our people that we've used with MyOutDesk have used Line 2, and it's been great. So yeah. So if you're gonna definitely, I mean, if you're going to use it, if you have a CRM, then you want to have training, a process that you can explain to the inside sales associate. But, you know, even virtual assistants, I mean, they can be, we've had them work on things on the back end of our business. And again, it just comes down to having a plan, having a written out process that you expect and being very clear about it.
Okay. And that's going to help you on the onboarding side and the assimilation side to make sure that your VA gets off to a good running start and contributes to the business, right?
Absolutely. And what's nice is when you, if you've started working with someone for a while, like let's say you have a VA, what we've done is they've learned our process so well that like they're now training people when we bring them.
That's great. Awesome.
Yeah, I mean, they're helping train our agents. You know, they're helping train our new hires, our new, you know, just so it's really great. And yeah, so and the cost is great too. So that's another thing.
So if I get back to, I'm a real estate professional and I had a good last year, maybe I did 225 and I'm growing. Is it unrealistic to say I can, if I bring on the right infrastructure or augment my team to kind of double that in 2018 with 450 GCI? Is that like out of the realm? What's your experience?
We did almost 3 million in GCI last year, and
wow, great. Great.
We're definitely leveraging virtual assistants. We're definitely leveraging inside salespeople. We have just having a great system. It's about having a great system in place. Just having a system in place, and leveraging other people and empowering other people, allowing them to learn and to grow as well. So. Your question, yes, it's absolutely feasible. Like it can totally be done. There's people that are crushing meat, like they're killing. I know people that are they're blowing it out of the water. I mean, and many of them you can't do it on your own, right? So you need people that are going to be there to help you and help you grow and scale. So, so definitely, you can be done. And another thing that we've used virtual assistants and inside salespeople. Like if you're growing a team, they've helped us recruit people, right? Like we have had virtual assistants help put this entire webinar together, like all the advertising, all the back end stuff. So
right.
Those are the things that I don't really enjoy, like the back end, like tech stuff. Although a lot of people think I do. I mean, I do, but it's not really like like the thing I really love to do. I love connecting with people. So having someone in place to do the things that I don't really like to do has helped us grow in a big way. So I would just encourage anyone watching, like just learn about what it is that you don't like and then find someone to replace that. And the virtual assistant is perfect for that because that's what they love to do.
Looks like I have a question coming in here, Kevin. Let me see if I can. Hang on.
Oh, that's just Brittany Howard saying she's excited to be on the webinar. What's up, Brittany?
Okay.
I'm your fan too. I'm your biggest fan, Brittany.
Okay, so we don't need to answer that one. Okay, that's really, really good stuff. Just as a background or just my experience using VAs, I came to MyOutDesk from a company called Marketo in the Silicon Valley, and I guess I would call them the top marketing automation vendor in the world. And I had a pretty large group of sales team and SDRs, which is equivalent of an ISA. I think in the Silicon Valley, most of the time they call them sales development reps. But in coming to MyOutDesk as Chief Revenue Officer, I am just amazed at the quality of our ISAs or SDRs. They're just like the top of the top. Absolutely much better quality than what I had in the Silicon Valley in terms of their work ethic and their attention to detail and attention to quality. We've also, believe it or not, which is kind of interesting, our sales team who conduct consultations with customers, we've got a hybrid team there too, with both US and ISA, I shouldn't say ISA, sales people that that were former ISAs that were promoted to the sales organization. They're such a sharp bunch of people. We're so proud of them. But my experience is nothing but positive, and it just allows me personally, and our entire marketing team is that way too. It allows me personally to focus on business relationships and partnerships and growing our business rather than, putting out fires. So it's just a great way to kind of re-engineer your business if you want to look at that.
And what's nice about it is there's less of the sort of frontier concept, right? Like if you have to go out and hire people, and you have to build the structure, you have to take a lot of those steps. And like I've made huge mistakes in hiring the wrong people. What I like is that there are people that are already trained, but what's even more important than that, I think, is having the accountability. Like I know if for whatever reason the person that I hire, which I've never really had any trouble with anyone without MyOutDesk, but I'm just saying generally, like if there was an issue, I know there's like a manager that I could talk to that, that will hold those people accountable as well. So it's just nice, and it kind of shortcuts the process, which is, really, really valuable. So yeah, I mean, I would agree with you on that. It's
we just had our first question come in, Kevin, and it's to you. And it was when we spoke, you talked about the upside and downside of VAs and doing it right and wrong, and how did you have that bad experience of losing money by hiring the wrong VA? So help us with that a little bit.
It's just the mistakes that I made over the years. I mean, it's not like I one-time shot. It was just over time, hiring the wrong people, taking the wrong approach, and not really knowing what I was doing. Like I just didn't know what I was doing starting out. These are all big mistakes that I made early on, and just not knowing what I was doing. I mean, I would put ads out on Craigslist, and I'd bring I want to hire. I'm like the yes person. I want to bring anyone on. Like if they call and they're interested, I'm just excited that they're interested. So I'll bring them on board, and the next thing over the course of 3-6 months, a year, things didn't work out, and you end up losing a lot of money. So, the problem that I had was just not having the structure in place, and not training people properly, not understanding like my own process, which is things that I was talking about earlier, is know what it is that you're good at, know what it is that you're not good at, and come up with a plan, like what it is that you want to do, and then allow other people to take over those gaps, or where you don't feel, where you don't want to spend most of your time. So the thing with MyOutDesk was, I found you guys, which was great because you did a lot of those things for me. You did a lot of the training for me. Like you did the process. A lot of the process was already done. Like the vetting process, like, you guys already have people that are hiring, and you're not just hiring anyone. And so what was nice is that I got to pick, like there's like you guys provided a few people, I get to interview them. And over the years that I've built these systems, I've implemented my own little things. Like I talked about the email, the voicemail. So I've implemented that with MyOutDesk, and it's worked extremely well for me. So yeah, it's just the process, just going through the early stages of hiring people. And I've just lost so much money over the years. It's crazy. So now that we've got these systems in place, it just kind of shortcuts the process, and things have been well so far. So hopefully it stays that way.
Well, good, excellent. Yeah, anytime you're going to have turnover in your team, it's going to cost you money. I mean, because you're making an investment in the relationship, if it's a direct hire or if it's a virtual professional. So the onboarding and the infrastructure and the training are super important.
Right, and the time that you spend training the wrong person, I mean, you're losing money there as well.
Yeah, right. Exactly right. Well, good. We talked about value proposition of the ISAs from prospecting, finding more new listings, closing business. What about the marketing side? I mentioned that I come from a little bit of a marketing technology background. Where do you see things going, and how can a VA help you on the marketing side of the coin?
So many things. Facebook ads.
Yeah.
Using a virtual assistant to run Facebook ads for you is great. Also, like we do a lot with Craigslist. So posting ads on Craigslist, like creating the ads on Craigslist has been great. Also, if you want, you could have people posting MLS listings for you. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. I mean, there's so much that can be done. I mean, if you want to have people sending out, like we're sending out like email blasts. We're putting our database inside of an email blast. They're creating the ad, and they're sending the email out. So I mean, the list goes on and on and on in terms of marketing. So it's just a matter of what it is that you're doing, and where VAs can fill the gap. And so that's for us. That's what we use VAs for.
Great. We have an amazing customer in Washington State. Her name is Terrell, and she is so creative about using VAs to kind of promote her brand, and mostly on Facebook, but also through her website. She is I would call her the queen or the master of referral marketing. She does an event monthly, and she calls it "I Love You a Latte." She invites all of her network of people to the local coffee shop, and on a Friday at 5 o'clock, it's like clockwork. And they get together and they have this sense of community, because she'll bring in people from the dog shelter and people from the food bank and contractors, and then referral customers. And they have a drawing, and they have coffee and wine and beer. And it's just amazing. And her business is 70% referral. And this whole thing drives her growth and her success. And she has just a tremendous brand and sense of community about her real estate practice. So impressive. If anybody gets a chance, you can Google "I Love You a Latte," and she's got some YouTube videos out there on some of the sessions. But all of that whole thing is driven by her VAs. She'll go out with her cell phone to the local restaurants that she goes to, or meet with the contractors, and she does little ads for them, and she pushes it as a video on her Facebook site. And the VAs do all that work on her behalf. They do all the invitations, they schedule the events, and it's just fantastic. It's like a machine, the way she operates with her referral marketing programs. But that's a good example that I was just so impressed with, and just the success she's had in growing her business with VAs.
That's awesome. And yeah, I mean, it's the list goes on and on and on. I mean, there's so many things that can be done. Facebook, home open house marketing, Craigslist, email blasts, text messages. But so one thing for me, it goes back down to, like, for me, the reason why I worked with MyOutDesk. Okay, as an individual agent, I was generating so many leads that I just couldn't do it anymore on my own. So I had to basically replicate myself, and I didn't want to pay crazy amount of money to hire someone to do that. Okay. What's nice about what you guys do is that I don't have to pay a lot of money. We have really great, talented people, and they can come in and fill the gap. And so what I did personally was I couldn't take on anymore. I was doing too much. I couldn't prospect on my own anymore because I'm out there dealing with clients. So I hired a VA. And so they ended up taking over my CRM. And I remember her, she's great. She ended up moving on, doing some other things, but she's like, she was awesome. She took over, she went into my CRM, showed her exactly step-by-step the things that I do every single day. And she would reach out to the clients for us. And we started building a team after that, and started hiring people. And so what MyOutDesk, what you guys do to help me now is call my clients, our database, our prospects, and set appointments for us. Like that is what for me has been the biggest value. So if you have a team or you're an agent and you're generating lots of leads or you have a large database, that's a great way to leverage and scale. So, it's just that's what's really, really helped me. And the nice thing again is that those people have lots of training already before you hire them. That they're already trained. Like a lot of them had worked with big companies, big producing agents in different parts of the country, so they kind of had a background and knowledge with that. But we've also, and I've also implemented some of my own sort of things that we've done in our business. So like right now, when leads come in, they get a call right away from the inside sales associate, and then we assign those leads to agents on our team, or those leads get assigned to me. So I focus less of my time on calling like the entire database. So I allow my inside sales people to do that, and then they assign appointments for us. And now it's just assigning appointments for agents on our team. Another thing that you can do is, you can send out information to people in your sphere using a virtual assistant.
Right.
So again, it's just those tasks that I don't personally like to do, have somebody else do those for me, and it's worked out really, really well.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. A lot of our customers, they're out in the field meeting new people, and they'll like take a photo of a business card and send it back to the VA. The VA puts it into the CRM and puts the next action follow-up event in on your behalf. I had a question from Brittany here. Does MOD only do ISA type work, or do they do transactional coordination work? We actually do the gamut. We do a lot of ISAs. It's probably our largest area of focus from a virtual professional standpoint. We do marketing, which, being a marketing guy, I'm biased towards marketing. I think if you want to like kill it today in real estate, you need to get smart about marketing, because there's so much going on, and we can help you with a marketing coordinator and help you with that process. But also we do quite a bit of administrative work and transactional coordination. So that's how, that's the breadth of the services we provide. But the process that we engage with you from a kind of evaluating whether a virtual professional is going to be right for you or not is, number one, I would go out and do the sticky challenge, because it's kind of fun, and I think you'll be surprised when you finish it. The other thing is we do a seven-figure consultation, and that's I'm an old marketing consulting guy. We used to just call it a gap fit, to see where do you want to be, where you're at, and what are the gaps in your strategy, and evaluating how and where in your team you need help. So we do that with our sales organization. They're really, really good at it. And I've been blown away by the success that we've had with that seven-figure consultation. Because about 50% of the people that go through that process to kind of evaluate what outcomes you want. I want to grow my listings by 40%, or I want to double them this year, or whatever you're going to set. We work with you to try to provide you the best fit solution with virtual professionals. But about 50% of the people that go through that process end up as MyOutDesk customers, which I just consider, that's the greatest value statement there is. Half of the people that go through that process say, hey, this is going to work for me. So I would highly recommend that if you see a fit here with virtual professionals, that you go through that consultation, because it's only about an hour or so, but it's gonna help you kind of internalize how you might optimize your team structure with virtual professionals.
I would totally do it. If anyone's listening, totally take advantage of it. Because one challenge I know a lot of people face is like, okay, well, I don't know what I want to do. I'm not sure, right? So having someone kind of go through your business and you can kind of talk it out and walk through it. I think that's a great service that you guys offer, and I would totally take advantage of it. There was a question I had about, thought about like how much to spend for an ISA, like what the cost is, like how much should you allocate. One thing I will say is the cost of that you guys have with your ISAs is like so much less for what it is that you do. If you were to hire someone, I mean, I'm talking like $30, $40 an hour job that you could get for like a quarter of that price. So, right. And again, it's like people that are already trained and understand our business. They've worked with perhaps in some cases, other big teams, other successful brokerages or what have you. And sometimes maybe not, but I know that like I've relied on the awesome training that you guys provide. So that's, so yeah, I mean, in terms of
no, I'm with you on that. There's a tremendous cost reduction. It's just tremendous, but there's also a risk reduction from the standpoint. It's hard to hire people today. It's difficult finding local people to fill those positions. And, we do a tremendous job of recruiting and vetting and bringing people on board. So there's a big risk reduction there for adding someone to your team, aside from the financial benefits of adding people to your team. I mean,
yep.
Big time.
Definitely. And it's 3 months, I believe, when I signed up with you guys, right? It's a 3-month contract.
It is. That's a minimum 3-month contract. You can go to the website. The costs are out there, and or you can just speak to one of our sales consultation staff. Go through the 7-figure consultation. But to me, it is such a, and I always say, why are our prices so low? Because I'm amazed by what value you get out of the VA. I mean, as I said, I've been in organizations where our ISAs, our SDIRs, we're paying them a ton of money, and even then, some of the results aren't great.
Yeah, and again, I would say, like, thinking about at what point do I hire someone is when I feel the time to hire someone is either A, when you can't do any more on your own, or B, when you can't stand what it is that you're doing. So, and it comes through having a problem, and those are 2 problems that need to be solved if you want to scale. So again, going back to like what the importance of having a virtual assistant or an inside salesperson.
Okay, so we should begin, my friend, to try to wrap this up. What could you tell the audience in summary, or recommend how they might move forward to kind of evaluate this whole professional virtual assistant option?
Well, first, if you're looking to scale and grow, and you can't do all that on your own. So you need help. You need people to help you do it. I would just reach out and see if it's a good fit. Like, that's what I would do. Before you start, spending money on hiring people and getting into, long-term commitments, I would just start with that, see if it's a good fit. If it works, great. And if not, great. You get to learn a little bit about the process and during that process, I guess. So, that's what I'd say. And then just think about what it is that you're good at, what it is you're not good at, and try to fill those gaps. That's what I would say.
Well, I'm gonna first of all, thanks for the folks that took time out today to learn more about this topic, and thanks so much, Kevin.
Thanks, guys.
See you all. Have a great day.
Bye-bye.
Bye.